For the imam, perceived French hypocrisy is to blame for the anger here.
Why is Emmanuel Macron now saying he doesn't recognise our authorities, when he's recognised juntas in other countries like Gabon and Chad? That's what has made us angry, and we think France takes us for idiots.
I asked the newly appointed governor of Niamey whether the junta can keep his country safe from terrorists.
Le Niger a toujours assuré la sécurité de cette population.
He replies that Nigerian forces have always ensured the safety of their people and can defend their country without foreign partners.
So I want us to watch this video that was made by the BBC that shed some light into what is going on in Niger as the French ambassador move out of the country, and also as Emmanuel Macron promises to pull out the troops by the end of this year. So let's hear what the people in Niger are saying.
Driving across Niger, the countryside appears peaceful. But despite the veneer of normality, this is one of the 10 deadliest countries in the world for terrorism. In Niamey, pro-junta protesters have been camped outside a French military base for weeks.
You have to ask yourself, right? How come these countries became the most deadly in the world? What happened? Considering the fact that France was there for many years. France has been the de facto master of the state of Niger for many years. France has gained a lot of things from Niger. In fact, France was the one mining uranium in Niger. But yet still, they couldn't guarantee security in Niger. How can they be in Niger just harvesting minerals from the country without really caring about the people in Niger? And this is what gets me so angry about France in Africa. Now, people might think that I just like to bash them. No, it's not like that. It's just that sometimes when I think of what France has done in Africa or what France is doing in Africa and all the resources that France is taking away from Africa, you would think that France would have some sympathy for the people in those countries. You would think that France would have some small level of compassion for people in those countries. You would think that France would thought to themselves, like, okay, let's try to protect these vulnerable people. Let's try to make sure that these people can be safe as we exploit our minerals, as we exploit their country. Let's ensure that they have security. Let's ensure that they can do their things safely, peacefully, and calmly. But you'll be shocked that when you go to these countries, especially those countries in the Sahel, it's a total different story altogether. The system is completely broken. People don't have good jobs. People don't have health care. People don't have quality education. The healthcare system is a total sham. Even safety and security is nowhere to be found. Jihadist insurgencies or jihadist groups have taken over the country. The only thing that you can find working out in those countries is France exploitation. It's the resources that France is taking out of the country. Those ones cannot be affected by these jihadists because they have made sure that those resources do not be interrupted. No matter how many attacks take place in those countries, the route or the method of taking out these resources is always maintained. They will never have something to destabilize or to obstruct them from taking out resources from these countries. It's quite a painful thing to watch. As an African, it really, really gets me. I am so angry whenever I talk about France's involvement in Africa and how it has kept French-speaking African countries where they are. Let's continue.
They say the French have failed to stop the terror attacks.
Every Friday since the military transition in this country, Friday prayers have been held here, right outside the French military base. Hundreds of people are in attendance. And in today's sermon, the Imam was preaching patience, saying that in a divorce between a man and a woman, things take time. Similarly, he says, Niger is divorcing France, and that's going to take time.
For the Imam, perceived French hypocrisy is to blame for the anger here.
Why is Emmanuel Macron now saying he doesn't recognise our authorities, when he's recognised juntas in other countries like Gabon and Chad? That's what has made us angry, and we think France takes us for idiots.
The junta has seized on historical resentment of the French to argue Niger can go it alone. I asked the newly appointed governor of Niamey whether the junta can keep his country safe from terrorists.
Le Niger a toujours assuré la sécurité de ses populations.
He replies that Nigerian forces have always ensured the safety of their people and can defend their country without foreign partners.
And it's true, the military junta in Chad has been recognized by France. In fact, the young boy, Mohamed Idris, has met Emmanuel Macron and they've talked. Even the one in Gabon, no one is talking about it. The only reason why France is refusing to acknowledge this military junta in Niger is because they are against France. That's just it. Had it been that these juntas came into being and then said that they want to maintain all the transactions that the previous government had with France, France will not have anything against them. But because they told France that we will have to re-examine everything all over again, we will have to re-evaluate our stance on many of these security deals and pacts that we had with you, because we clearly believe that it doesn't serve our interests. It doesn't benefit us. France was very angry, and that was why France kept on defying the junta. It's just a double standard. And the people in Niger have seen that clearly, and the people in Africa have seen that clearly also. They now understand how these Westerners do politics. They just pick and choose. They pick you, they choose you, and then they go against you, and then they support you. That's what they do. They really have no standard. They just pick and choose here and there, depending on how convenient it is for them. Let's continue.
But those opposed to the coup believe the departure of French troops could be dangerous.
In the fight against the terrorists, France is a key partner that provides most of the intelligence that helps us beat the terrorists trying to attack Niger.
But many Nigerians are frustrated with the lack of progress when it comes to the war on terror. Adama is originally from Tillaberi, one of the regions worst affected by jihadi violence. She tells me her mother's cousin, a village chief, was assassinated by terrorists 7 months ago. They killed him by slitting his throat. She doesn't believe the French have successfully reduced terrorism in the Sahel. But there has been some progress in the fight against extremism. Last year, terror-related deaths in Niger fell by 79%. No one critical of the junta will speak to us on the record, and the military follow our every move, so it's unclear what proportion of the population wants the French to stay. But as France loses its last base in the Sahel, its influence in the region has been dealt a blow.
I think that France in Niger has been a failure in my own estimation and in my own opinion. Now, your own might differ from mine, but I think it's a failure. Because if someone came in and told you that they could get a job done and that the only reason they are with you is because they want to help you solve a problem, and years go by and that problem is not solved, would you consider they being with you a success or a failure? That is just a simple question we all must ask ourselves. Because if you really came to do something and you get it done, people will acknowledge it. If France went out to Niger to stamp out this so-called insurgency movement and they really did their job, no one will blame them. There won't be any jihadist movement in the Sahel. They would have resolved this problem by now. But just the fact that they've been there for 10 plus years, but these jihadist groups just keep on getting larger and larger, just goes to tell you that they haven't really done a good job. They have not been good at their job. And so it was but normal for countries in the Sahel to ask them to go, because there was no point keeping them in the Sahel whereby what brought them there could not be achieved. Why would you keep an unproductive employee? Why would you? I would not. If someone came to me and said, hey, I can do this, I have the capability to get this done, and I said, okay, good and fine, carry on with it. And years upon years, that said individual is unable to get what he said he could get done, I wouldn't keep him or her. I would not. And why should you? They have to go. It's but simple. So France in the Sahel has not been great. It has been a total failure. But you guys out there, what do you think about France's achievement in the Sahel? Do you think that they brought peace to countries in the Sahel? Do you think that when they were there, these jihadist movement were scared and they couldn't attack? Do you also think that now that they are leaving, there will be a big security vacuum in the Sahel that somebody would have to fill it? Please share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of good way, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot, and we shall ever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.